Paul, did you read the letter that Geidt put out? And if so, it was very waffly, wasn't it?
It was, and I think there's been quite a lot of confusion over the real reasons why he resigned. I think the government tried to spin it one way and Geidt tried to spin it another way. I mean, I think from what I can gather, he was asked to provide political cover for a potential breach of international law, and he said he didn't want to do that. He wasn't happy at doing that, and okay, fair enough. He's entitled to step down, which which is his prerogative. I suspect one or two people might be fairly surprised at the fact that Boris Johnson had an ethics advisor in the first place, to be honest. But look, most people will not have heard of Lord Geidt, let's be blunt. Most people before this story broke would not have even known him if they passed him in the street. So in that sense, I guess it's not a huge story, but what I think it does do is it does add to that general perception of a lack of integrity within Downing Street, a lack of playing by the rules that everybody else is expected to play by. So for that reason alone, regardless of the merits of his resignation and the rights and wrongs of it, I think in terms of PR, it's clearly not very good for Boris Johnson and Number 10.
Mm-hmm. Arlene, I want to come to you on this because there are some who are saying this is another massive blow for Boris Johnson. But is this another one of those stories that really kind of captured the imagination of the sort of Westminster news bubble but didn't really hit anywhere else?
Well, yes, because as Paul says, not very many people know who Lord Geidt is. And therefore it is a bit of a Westminster bubble story. I mean, this position of government advisor on ethics was something that was created back in the Blair administration, I understand, about 2006. So it's really a new phenomenon in terms of government. The question is it really needed? Should the permanent secretary, your permanent secretary, not be advising you on whether something is right or wrong in terms of ethics? And why do we have yet another layer of bureaucracy in government? I don't think there's really a need for a specific person to be an ethics advisor. If you have to get advice on ethics, there are plenty of people within the higher echelons of the civil service who are there to give that sort of advice. So it'll be interesting to see now what happens. I think what's more damaging is the fact that two of these advisors have resigned during Boris's time. So to lose one would be a misfortune. To lose two looks like carelessness. And it is something that he will have to reflect on. But, the government advisor on ethics, as I understand it, doesn't really have any teeth. He's only there to advise on whether something is ethical or not. And the fact that he decided to go over steel tariffs on Chinese steel was rather bizarre for a lot of people. Why did he not resign over the other issues that were there? And frankly, it looks as if he just didn't want to be seen to be the man who put the final knife in Vienna. So it's all a bit of a Westminster story, I'm afraid. But what will be interesting to see is what happens now to the position of government ethics advisor.